Hello friends, welcome back to a new lecture. Now in this lecture we will look at different sampling types. So broadly, sampling techniques are divided into two types. First one is non-probability sampling techniques and second one is probability sampling techniques. Now non-probability sampling techniques are further divided into four types. First one is convenience sampling, then second is judgmental sampling, then third one is quota sampling, and last one is snowball sampling. Then probability sampling techniques are also divided into four types. That is, first one is simple random sampling, then second one is systematic sampling, then third one is stratified sampling, and last one is cluster sampling. So friends, in probability sampling, every element of the population has an equal chance of being selected. So we can say that probability sampling gives us a better chance to create a sample that is truly representative of the population. Then next, in non-probability sampling, all elements do not have an equal chance of being selected. Consequently, there is significant risk of ending up with a non-representative sample which do not produce generalizable results. So we can summarize these as that in probability sampling, every unit of population has the same probability of being included in the sample. Then here the chance mechanism is used in the selection process. Then this technique eliminates bias in the selection process. And lastly, this is also known as random sampling. Then next, in non-probability sampling, every unit of population does not have the same probability of being included in the sample. Then next, it's open to selection bias. Then next, this is not appropriate data collection method for most statistical methods. And lastly, this is also known as non-random sampling. So friends, please remember all these small points. Now friends, before moving ahead, please note case studies plays very important role in clearing CAIIB. Most often candidates who are stuck in this paper often fails to crack the case studies in their examination. Now if you haven't enrolled into my extensive ABM and BFM case studies courses, then enroll it today itself, as these courses may be the difference between your passing and failing in this important examination. The format of each lecture is that I first make you grasp the concept and then we solve various case studies in detail. So even if you haven't finished your textbooks, even then you can easily join this course and grasp the concepts. All the links to join my ABM and BFM case studies classes are there in description to this video, so do join it today itself. Friends, next let's say our population consists of 20 individuals. And each individual is numbered 1 to 20 and is represented by color, that is red, blue, green and yellow. Now in probability sampling, each person would have odds of 1 out of 20 of being chosen in the sample. So probability sampling thus eliminates bias in the population and gives all members a fair chance of being included in the sample. While with non-probability sampling, these odds are not equal. A person might have a better chance of being chosen than others. So just assume if someone is buttering his manager, then he may have a better chance of being chosen over the others. So now that we have an idea of these two types of sampling, so let's dive into each and understand different types of sampling under each head. Now first, let's see probability sampling techniques, and under which first one is simple random sample, that is SRS in short. Now friends, this is a type of sampling technique you must have come across at some point in your life. So please note here every individual is chosen entirely by chance and each member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. So you must have been part of some kind of lucky draw in your life, where chits are put into a box and then randomly one chit is chosen. And that one is the winner. So this is nothing but simple random sampling. Friends, this is a reliable method of obtaining information where every individual member of the population is chosen randomly or merely by chance. As we have seen here that here each individual has the same probability of being chosen to be a part of sample. Friends, let's see another example. Suppose there are 20 staff members except manager in a branch. And manager wants to select 5 members to send for election duty. Now if none of the members are interested, then most probably he will assign 1 to 20 numbers to each staff member and then put these number chits in a bowl and randomly pick 5 chits. Friends, this type of sampling is nothing but simple random sampling. So friends, I hope the concept of simple random sampling is clear to you. Then next type of sampling is systematic sampling. Now friends, systematic sampling is similar to simple random sampling, but it is usually slightly easier to conduct. Now here every member of the population is listed with a number, but instead of randomly selecting numbers, individuals are chosen here at regular intervals. Now friends, steps for this type of sampling can be summarized as: now in first step, first decide on the sample size, that is small n. Then divide frame of n individuals into groups of k individuals, that is k equals capital N divided by small n. Now after this, randomly select one individual from the first group, and lastly select every kth individual thereafter. Now I know this must be confusing for you, isn't it? Now friends, before moving ahead, don't forget to get your CAIIB Masters pack, which is a pack of 4 books. These first 2 are secret sauce books, which are in fact summarized notes, and these last 2 are question banks of ABM and BFM respectively. You can also get individual books as per your needs. All the links are there in description to this video, so don't miss out on these. Friends, you can also get Retail Banking 1000 series, which contains chapter-wise questions and detailed case studies. Get your copies today itself by clicking the links in the description. Lastly, always get updated editions, since I update all these question banks after every 6 months, that is after exams. Let's move forward with our lecture. So let's see an example that will make the steps more clear. Let's again do that exercise to select staff members for election duty, but now using systematic sampling. So here the population is, that is capital N equals 20, and sample size, that is small n equals 5. Since we want to select 5 members for election duty. Now just say we began with person number 3. So the next individual that we will select would be at an interval of 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So the next person that we will select after person number 3 would be 3 plus 4. That is, we will get 7 by adding this interval to the number 3. So the staff member selected would be, that is first member would be 3. Then we will add the interval 4 in 3, we will get 7. Now after 7 we will again add that interval 4 and we will get 11. Then 11 plus 4 equals 15 and 15 plus 4 equals 19. So the member selected with this systematic random sampling is 3, 7, 11, 15 and 19. So friends, I hope the concept is clear to you. We just add that interval to the previous number and get the next number. Then next we have stratified sampling. Friends, in this type of sampling, we divide the population into subgroups, which is called strata, based on different features like gender, category or any such characteristic thing. And then we select the samples from these subgroups. Finally, based on overall proportions of the population, we calculate how many people should be sampled from each subgroup. Now after this, you can use random or systematic sampling to select a sample from each subgroup. Friends, please note this is a common sampling techniques when sampling populations of voters, stratifying across racial or socio-economic lines. So let's see the same example in which branch manager wants to select 5 staff members for election duty. So what the manager can do here is that first he will divide the staff members into cadres, that is clerical, scale 1, scale 2 and scale 3. So as you can see, out of 20 staff members, 7 are clerical as shown in blue, 5 are scale 1 officers as shown in green, then 4 are scale 2 shown in yellow, and 4 are scale 3 officers shown in red. So the manager will select proportionally like this. That is, he will select 40 divided by 20 multiplied by 5 equals 1 officer from scale 3. Friends, please note 4 is the size of scale 3 officers, then 20 is the population size, and since we are finding proportional figures, so we are here multiplying by 5. I hope this is clear to you. Then manager will select 4 divided by 20 multiplied by 5 equal 1 officer from scale 2. Now also note that this one member out of 4 can be chosen randomly. Then 5 divided by 20 multiplied by 5 equals approximately 1 officer from scale 1, And finally, 7 divided by 20 multiplied by 5 equals approximately 2 clerical members. So as you can see, this type of sampling is nothing but stratified sampling. Friends, I hope this stratified sampling method is clear to you. Next, let's see final method under probability sampling, that is cluster sampling. Friends, in a clustered sample, we use the subgroups of a population as the sample unit rather than individuals. The population is here divided into subgroups known as clusters, and the whole cluster is randomly selected to be included in the study. That is, instead of sampling individuals from each subgroup, you randomly select entire subgroups. Now let's do that same example but now using cluster sampling. So what the manager will do here is that he will make cluster of staff members. Since he wants to select 5 members, so in each cluster he will put 5 members, and thus he will have 20 divided by 5, that is 4 clusters, as you can see here. Now to make the cluster mixed, he may put 1 to 20 number chairs in a bowl and then ask all members to pick one chair. And then he will make cluster with staff members containing numbers as shown here. I hope this is clear to you. And finally, the manager will pick any of the 4 clusters, and thus he will have 5 members nominated for election duty. So friends, I hope cluster sampling is also clear to you. Now friends, please note in your syllabus only probability sampling is discussed. But I will also discuss non-probability sampling in short, since from last few years IRBF is going out of syllabus. So friends, under non-probability sampling, first one we have convenience sampling. Now this is the easiest method of sampling because individuals are selected based on their availability and willingness to take part. So in our example, manager will first ask the staff member if anyone is interested in election duty, and if not, then he will simply select the members as per his convenience and simply send their names for election duty. Then next we have quota sampling. Friends, in this type of sampling, we choose items based on some predetermined characteristics of the population. Let's say in an example, the manager decides to select 5 members having a number in multiples of 4. So in that case, he will simply select 5 members like 4, 8, 12, 16 and 20. As you can see, all these are in multiple of 4. Then next we have judgment sampling. Friends, this sampling is also known as selective sampling. Now in this sampling, it depends on the judgment of the experts while choosing whom to ask for participation. So in our example, the manager may select the staff member who he thinks can perform election duties effectively. Then lastly, we have snowball sampling. Friends, in this, existing people are asked to nominate further people known to them so that sample increases in size like a rolling snowball. Now this method of sampling is effective when a sampling frame is difficult to identify. So in our example, manager may first select staff member of his choice and then ask him or her to nominate other staff members. So this is nothing but snowball sampling. So friends, this is all about types of sampling. Next we will do some questions or case studies that will make the concept crystal clear to you. And we have a case study, and the case study is employee strength of Bank of Ludhiana with total employees of 8,000 is as follows. That is, clerical staff is 4,000, then officer scale 1 are 2,500, then officer scale 2 are 1,500. Now answer next 6 questions based on stratified sampling. And the first question is, the number of stratas given in the case study are, and these options are given to you. Now friends, as we have learned in the theory part, that in stratified sampling, population is divided into 2 or more subgroups called strata according to certain characteristics. So as you can see in the case study, that 8,000 staff strength is subdivided into clerical, officer scale 1 and officer scale 2. Thus number of stratas will be 3 here. So the correct option for the given question is option C. Then next question is, if 100 employees out of 8,000 is to be selected for promotion, then how many vacancies for clerical will be released? And these options are given to you. Now friends, as we have learned in stratified sampling, the selection is made proportionally. So if there are 4,000 clerks, then proportional selection will be simply, that is 4,000 divided by 8,000 multiplied by 100 equals 50 here. Thus the correct option for the given question is option C. The next question is, if 100 employees out of 8,000 is to be selected for promotion, then how many vacancies for officer scale 1 will be released? And these options are given to you. Now friends, as we have learned in stratified sampling, the selection is made proportionally. So if there are 2,500 scale 1 officers, then proportional selection will be 2,500 divided by 8,000 multiplied by 100 equals 31 vacancies. Thus the correct option for the given question is option A here. The next question is, in simple random sampling, we can describe mathematically how objective our estimates are. Why is this? And now these three statements are given to you. That is, first statement is, we always know the chance that any population element will be included in the population. Then second statement is, every sample always has equal chance of being selected. Then third statement is, all the samples are of exactly the same size and can be counted. Now these options are given to you. Now friends, this is a theory based question. And I hope you all know what a simple random sampling is. So with respect to this question, both statements 1 and 2 are correct. But statement 3 is incorrect, as sample size may be different. Thus the correct option for the given question is option A. The next question is, suppose you are performing stratified sampling on a particular population and have divided it into strata of different sizes. How can you now make your sample selection? And these three statements are given to you. That is, first statement is, select at random an equal number of elements from each stratum. Then second is, draw equal number of elements from each stratum and weight the results. Then third statement is, draw number of elements from each stratum proportional to their weights in population. And then these answer choices are given to you. Now friends, this is also a theory based question. Now in stratified sampling, either we draw the elements proportionally or you can also attach weights to them. So as far as this question is concerned, the correct option is option B here. The next question is, a border patrol checkpost that stops every passenger van is using, and these answer choices are given to you. That is, first one is simple random sampling. Then second one is systematic sampling. Then third one is stratified sampling. And last one is complete census. Now friends, this is a very good question. Now you must have passed through a police checkpost, if not a border checkpost. And you can see that patrolling officer do not check the people randomly or using any particular formula. His duty is to check each and every individual passing the border, irrespective of who he or she is. Thus he can't use any sampling technique. His job is to check each and everyone. So as far as this question is concerned, the correct option is option D, that is complete census. So friends, with this I wind up this lecture. I hope the concepts are clear to you. So thank you, and I will meet you again in the next lecture.